News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. House Speaker Martin Romualdez wants the Maharlika bill to be certified as urgent, citing support from 2/3 of the lower chamber. Marian Enriquez with the report.
The period of sponsorship and debate of the bill creating the Maharlika Investment Fund has begun at the House plenary. Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries Chairman Erwin Tieng stood as the sponsor.
As the Philippines secures its place not only as the rising star of Asia, but as a real economic leader in the Asia-Pacific, the creation of the MIF becomes imperative.
The MIF bill has undergone a series of amendments amid public criticism. Penal provisions that prescribe jail time and fines for violators of MIF guidelines have also been added. Other major changes include the removal of pension funds as sources to be replaced by the central bank dividends. Instead of the president, the finance chief will sit as chairman of the MIF board. House Senior Deputy Minority Leader Paul Daza, who earlier opposed the MIF, now supports the bill.
Umiral po ang demokrasya. Ito pong latest version is a much better version, and I would like to manifest that I intend to vote yes.
Despite the amendments, some lawmakers expressed doubts that the country is ready for the investment fund. These include Camarines Sur 3rd District Representative Gabriel Bordado.
Napapanahon nga ba? I don't believe so. I agree with the concerns raised by numerous top economists and academicians on the uncertainty of the Maharlika Investment Fund.
Gabriela Partiles Representative Arlene Brosas, meanwhile, questioned the basis for the estimated 7 to 8.5% yield of Landbank and DBP should Maharlika be passed into law.
Hindi ba, Mr. Speaker, unscientific na gamitin yung other countries as benchmark, no? Dahil magdedepend yung ROI or return of investment sa portfolio or size of investments. Hindi ba overly optimistic itong 7 to 8% natin?
For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee says it is ready to release its report on the overpriced and outdated laptops purchased by the Education Department. Committee Chairman Senator Francis Tolentino said they're just waiting for one more signature before they can release the findings. The Commission on Audit previously flagged DepEd for the purchase of 2.4 billion pesos worth of entry-level laptops for teachers last year. Under the procurement, the outdated laptops were bought for more than 58,000 pesos apiece, way beyond the initial budget of 35,000 per laptop. Because of this, only around 40,000 public school teachers were able to receive their government-sponsored computers, down from the 68,000 targeted beneficiaries. One News Now will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The House Committee on Constitutional Amendments has started tackling bills on charter change. Cagayan de Oro 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez led the first hearing today. In the initial deliberations, 8 bills and resolutions underwent sponsorship. The proposed changes revolve around foreign ownership and term limits for the President and Vice President. Meanwhile, Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas urged her fellow lawmakers to take their time in tackling the bills seeking to amend the 1987 Constitution.
Huwag po sanang madaliin yung pagdidiskusyon dito at pakinggan natin yung lahat ng sektor. At hindi lang po dito sa Kongreso, kundi mas importante po sa labas kung ano ang kanilang mga pagtingin at pag-unawa dito sa mga measures na gusto nating ipasa.
And 1 in 10 COVID-19 survivors experience residual effects from the coronavirus, like chronic fatigue and brain fog. More details in this video from Bloomberg.
COVID, for lack of a better way than putting it, damn near killed me. I think it did everything it could do to me, and then some.
For 13 weeks, criminal defense attorney Jerry Guerino fought COVID-19 in a Houston hospital. Doctors gave him a 5% chance of survival.
This came on like a rush. It was like maybe in 2 or 3 hours, I went from sort of having problems breathing or whatever to a maximum loss of air. I mean, it was terrible. I am still feeling the residual effects of COVID. It's affected my lungs tremendously. I walk almost a mile a day at that courthouse, and I still have to sit down and, gather myself and get my breathing under control. Before I had COVID, that didn't happen. It's brutal. I think it's a miracle that I'm alive.
At least 1 in 10 COVID survivors have symptoms spanning from chronic fatigue, brain fog, to heart palpitations. For others, the effects can resemble a ticking time bomb, damaging organs that leads to cardiovascular disease, kidney impairment, or brain damage. 5 weeks after being discharged, Jerry was back in hospital with pneumonia and kidney failure.
I had a year of COVID kicking my tail. Last year, I couldn't walk a step.
That's good.
It just totally attacks your whole body. And your lungs are horrible. I mean, you can't breathe. And they would tell me, don't gasp for air. You need to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And I needed to learn that, and that was the biggest thing.
Jerry had health insurance and the resources to finance his recovery. He says his medical bills alone topped $1 million. He also had the support of his wife, Betty.
The number of times I've looked at Betty and said, how do poor people afford this kind of stuff, this kind of treatment? I had the very best of the best of the very best. Doctors, equipment, everything that you could possibly have to recover. Without it, I'd have been, I don't know where I'd be. I don't think I'd be practicing law, I can tell you that.
Jerry's life has changed in other ways too. He wears a face mask in public, avoids crowds, and doesn't mingle with unvaccinated friends.
I'm very acutely aware of what can happen to me as a result of having had COVID and where I could end up if I get something like that again.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Pag-asa says that one more tropical cyclone could enter the country before the end of the year. For now, the State Weather Bureau expects generally fair weather over most parts of the country in the next few days. The Department of Education has directed all public schools to hold unannounced earthquake and fire drills twice a month. The DepEd has also instructed schools in Metro Manila, Rizal, Cavite, Laguna, and Bulacan to create a disaster plan in preparation for high-magnitude earthquakes. And in the UAAP, the UP Fighting Maroons are gunning for back-to-back titles in men's basketball, while the Ateneo Blue Eagles hope to extend the final series later today. UP and Ateneo will be facing off at 6 p.m. at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.